Elizabeth, this is the first time something like this has happened in Louisville as of this power outage, that a utility worker has been killed. He was hoisted up in a white bucket, much like the one on this truck here, where you can just sit back and let Three Chimneys manage your stable of horses and pay all the bills and fees. What adds to the tension here is that the Homeowners Association president, Ken Quiggins, lives just next door to Vicky Hack. And she says he came up to her door and her camera recorded him through the peephole, just like it's recording me now. And as you heard, Governor Beshear said all the state offices are now closed. They've just got a skeleton crew there of people answering phone calls from the public. And of course, the road crews are still out there, and more than 1,000 crews from LG&E fixing those power lines and getting those back up. And Governor Beshear saying he's now asked for a federal disaster declaration for the state of Kentucky. We'll have much more on this press conference coming up in our next half hour. Yeah, and the snow may have stopped falling, but we're not in the clear yet. Oh, it's hard to stay awake when you're tired at home or at the workplace or even on the set.
Were you asleep?
Hey, I watched the story. I was falling asleep,
jerks
though.
themselves awake. That's universally funny.
The website that's bound to make you smile and maybe a little sleepy when we come back.
Yeah, well, this is what they're up against. This sidewalk here along Rubel Avenue completely blocked by debris. Now, the private contractor who is working alongside city crews doesn't know if it can make it by Derby, but if it doesn't, there will be a penalty to pay. It may be loud, but these sounds are beautiful to the people who live on Edgeland Avenue in the Highlands.
Yay, we're very excited.
To see piles of tree limbs finally go away.
It just looks really awful.
Nearly 3 months after the ice storm, city crews and 2 private contractors have collected curbside debris from more than 1/3 of the city. One contractor quit.
We never saw anybody, so we didn't know where they were or when they were coming next.
Nearly 200 workers in all are picking up debris 12 hours a day, every day. If the private contractor does not complete its part by Derby, it will have to pay the city a fine of $500 for every day late.
So there is a strong incentive for the private contractors to complete that collection by then.
Just how much ice storm debris has been collected? Well, if you piled it up here in Papa John's Cardinal Stadium from end zone to end zone, it would be 75 feet high, which would clear the goalpost. All that debris gets grinded into wood chips and recycled as fuel for a paper mill in western Kentucky. The bigger the pile gets, the happier Louisville residents get as the sidewalks clear.
We do walk a lot of places, and it is rather inconvenient. I've noticed a lot of people just walking down the middle of the street, which is probably not the safest way to go.
And debris also has been taking up on-street parking spaces.
It's really become a problem of trying to maneuver who's going to park where and be able to fit everybody in, trying to move around all of this brush and debris.
Now, 3 drop-off sites will be open again this weekend from 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. If you want to get rid of the debris yourself, you can take tree debris only to the Hubbard's Lane or Merriweather Public Works facility, also behind the Southwest Government Center on Dixie Highway. And we also have a link on fox41.com to the city website where you can check out a map to find out if you are next for all of this debris pickup. Reporting live here in the Highlands, Julie Tam, Fox 41 News. We know that Facebook helps people reconnect, and boy, did this site do that in a big way for 2 siblings. This is Adrian Sam's Facebook page. Now, she and her family were planning a reunion for July, so she decided to do a search for her younger brother and found him, Courtney Weber. He's 23 years old, and for that long, they had never met. Brother Courtney was adopted right after birth, and his then 5-year-old sister Adrian was living in another state with an aunt. On a whim, Adrian Sam sent a message on Facebook to a Courtney Weber in California, hoping she had found the right Courtney Weber. She wrote last month, "I am looking for my brother who my mother gave up for adoption." 2 days later, Courtney replied, "I really do not know what to say. When I read this email, I froze." Adrian's husband, Jim, says the siblings have been looking at pictures of each other and talking on the phone ever since.
And she talked to him on the cell phone and completely killed the cell phone. It was dead.
Courtney planned to come to Louisville for the family reunion in July, but Jim had other plans to surprise Adrian.
I actually keep no secrets from her, so.
Oh, I see.
And this is a big one.
Jim secretly arranged for Courtney to fly in a few months early.
I'm about to bust. I can't wait. Yep, that's him. I see him checking his phone.
An on-time arrival, Good news for Jim, waiting alone for a guy in an orange jacket to step off the plane.
Finally, what's going on?
But remember, the surprise is for Adrian. The plan is to go to their daughter's softball game where Adrian is working at the concession stand, totally unsuspecting. We tell her we're just taping things related to the softball game. And from the parking lot comes the brother she's never met.
Hi.
Oh my God!
Hi. Well, don't just stand there. Get out here.
Brother and sister united.
Oh my God! Because I've waited such a long time, and I've always known he was out there. Oh my God, my baby!
It turns out Adrian is not the only person getting a surprise. Courtney's biological mother is seeing him for the first time since he was a premature infant. She says she could not afford to take care of him.
Well, I could say that God has filled every wish I ever wanted.
They'll have a lot of catching up to do.
Just get to know the family I never got a chance to know.
Well, a Bellarmine University graduate is poised to represent the U.S. in discus and shot put this summer in China. But one thing is holding him back, and it's out of his control. When Dennis Ogbe throws the discus or shot put, he says he feels as strong as any Olympic athlete. Only he's a Paralympian. But don't tell this decorated athlete he's disabled. Ogbe's world record in discus last season makes him the favorite to compete for the U.S. 2 weeks after the Summer Olympics.
I feel good, you know?
But Ogbe is also competing against time. He must get his U.S. citizenship before he can represent the U.S. in Beijing. You see, Dennis Ogbe was born in Nigeria and soon met a series of struggles, starting with a battle against malaria when he says a nurse broke a needle inside his leg, leaving him in a coma. Then polio left him paralyzed in his left leg.
So I like challenges growing up, you know, and I'll fall down with bruises, but while I was doing that, it was a therapy that no doctor would give me, you know.
Therapy that allowed Ogbe to look past his disability to see his ability. And Bellarmine University coach Jim Vargo saw it too, after Ogbe won the Paralympic gold medal for Nigeria in 2000.
Dennis is an athlete who is a world-class athlete. He competes at the highest level, and if he were out here against able-bodied people, would put many of them in their place.
Coach Vargo helped bring Dennis to the U.S. and helped him get a custom chair to throw from.
He's very humble, he's very passionate about what he does.
And today, no coach is tougher than Dennis himself.
Determination, he has to do a lot of perseverance, he has to do a lot of hard work.
He gives us much more than I think we probably ever give him.
Amazing man. Dennis Ogbe says one day he will return to Nigeria to give back to his native country, and Ogbe heads off to the U.S. National Paralympic Trials in less than 2 weeks, and we wish him the best of luck.
Seems like a very nice person.
Yeah, very much. Well, hundreds of thousands of customers are still without power across Kentuckiana this afternoon. LG&E is currently reporting more than 100,000 without power, and we say customers because that could be families of 1, 2, 3, or however many. And LG&E says it could be days before people get their power back. Kentucky Utilities has more than 175,000 people in the dark. And in southern Indiana, Duke Energy is reporting nearly 36,000 without power in Floyd, Clark, and Harrison counties. Harrison County REMC is reporting 16,000 customers without power.
I want to hear about that yet.
Yeah, no more right
now. We will.
Thanks, all right, thanks, Paul. Well, the roads out there, you got to be patient. Mike Marshall, what's going on? Police are not saying why someone shot and killed a man this afternoon in a busy grocery store parking lot in Highview. Fox 41's Chris Turner reports a sheriff deputy was able to run to the victim quickly, but could not save his life. Chris. Thank you, Chris. A Louisville teenager is charged with killing his own father, then setting his body on fire. According to the police report, the 14-year-old boy stabbed his father to death in this home in Old Louisville. Police went to the home last night after a family member got worried. They found 36-year-old Jermaine Bryant dead and his body set on fire.
The homicide took place sometime, we believe, around Tuesday. And the fire, we believe, was in an attempt to cover up the crime to some level, but it was contained within the apartment.
The coroner says Bryant died of a single stab wound to the torso. His 14-year-old son is charged with murder and arson.